Hey guys, I'm Ryan, and this is Real Talk. Have you ever looked in the fridge and found absolutely nothing to eat? You're just so disgusted there's nothing to eat, yet your fridge is still full of food somehow. These are first world problems that we always have as Americans or as people in first world countries. We never really have real issues that sometimes other people have to deal with, like where is my next meal coming from, or Mom, we don't have any food, literally no food to eat tonight, what are we going to do? And Mom says, I don't know, because I don't have money and your dad's gone. I mean, these are things I've seen in third world countries, and these are things that I've never had to worry about, thank the Lord. But we always tend to run into first world problems. I mean, we have such worry, and worry comes from what you place on yourself. And I find that I worry, and I know a lot of other people do this because I've asked them, I worry about the silliest things. My sister, who's 16, worries about what her friends think of her at school. What party am I going to this weekend? Or where are my friends at? Or what's my boyfriend doing? Whereas I worry more about where's my money coming from? What time do I have to be at work? Are my grades going well? And my managers at work worry about things like, do we have enough money to keep Ryan on the payroll? Do we have enough things for Ryan to do so that he can keep working? And they have to do that for every employee, not just me. And so worry comes from a matter of perspective. When we're in America, we worry about the stupidest things sometimes, and it really, really gets to me. And one day, I was just practicing on my guitar, and I was playing guitar, and I was practicing for a worship set that we were doing later that night at church, and there was a song on there. The song is called "All I Need Is You." It's a Hillsong it's pretty old. You can look it up, but it goes, "All I need is you, Lord, is you, Lord," and it does that like 15 times, and I was playing it, and I was like, wow, like is that for real? Because all the time I'm like, hey God, I need you to make sure that there is, what I want to eat in the fridge when I get home, because if there's not spaghetti there and there's salad there, I'm gonna be pretty ticked. And we do this, God, I need you to give me a good grade on my test because I didn't study and I didn't prepare, and it's on you now type deal. We never really just need God to fulfill our life, even as Christians. And I have a little bit of a story that goes along with that. Later that day, I was, after I practiced, I was reading my Bible and reading in my devotional, and there was a drought among the earth, and God sends Elijah to this woman. She was a widow. Her husband had passed away, and she was left with her son, and Elijah was sent to her. It says, the Lord came to him, who is Elijah, says, arise, go to Zarephath, which belongs to Sidon, dwell there. Behold, I command there a widow to feed you. So he arose, he went to Zarephath, and when he came to the city, there was a widow gathering sticks at the gate. He said, bring me a vessel that I may drink. I mean, when you're traveling that far, obviously you need some water. So she goes and gets him a water and brings it to him. And when she brings it to him, he says, I need bread with my water, woman. Go bring me a morsel of bread in your hand. And as she says to him, surely as your God lives, I have nothing baked, only a handful of flour in a jar, a little oil in a jug, and now I am gathering a couple of sticks so that I may prepare it for myself and my son so that we may eat it and die. She says to Elijah, look, I'm going to prepare my last little bit of food for me and my son so that we can have our last meal, and then we're going to starve to death. And I don't know what to do, really. And so she relies on God. She relies on Elijah in the next part. Elijah said to her, do not fear. Go do as I have said. Make me a little bit of cake and bring it to me. Afterward, make something for yourself and your son. For thus says the Lord God of Israel, the jar of flour shall not be spent, and the oil of jug shall not be empty, until the day the Lord sends rain upon the earth. The reason the flour and the oil was out was because there was a drought in the land. Just imagine you are so hungry, you're trying to save this last little bit of flour and oil for you and your, whether it be your spouse, your kid, your brother, your sister, but you have this last little bit, and all you want to do is you're trying to hold out as long as you can, and then you get so hungry you're going to make it, and you go to make it, and somebody comes to you and says, God told you to give me your last bit of food. I'd be freaking out. She goes, and really she has nothing to fall back on except Elijah, who is a prophet of God. So she has nothing to rely on except for God at this point. He says, make it. Do not fear, because God will provide for you. And so that just reconfirmed what I was thinking earlier in the day. All I need is you, Lord. Because really, when we have nothing left, God is still there. At the end of the day, when things don't work out your way and you're worried about there's no spaghetti but there's salad in the fridge or there's yogurt, just try to put things more into other people's perspective. When you get down to it, God is always there for you. And I just want to encourage you guys with that today. God is always there. He will always be there. And this week, just try to push yourself to really rely on Him for everything that you do. Because we tend to, in America especially, use our own strength and our own being to just do our own thing and kind of let God take one part, but we're still holding on to the rest of it. You know, here, God, I'll give you this 10% of this worry I have, but I'm going to try my best to just kind of do my thing with it. So I want to encourage you guys to put everything on God this week. Just, if you're really feeling down, just really look to God for some comfort and some wisdom. And all I need is you, Lord, is what comes out. Click here and we will explain to you the gospel and how to get saved and how to start your life with Christ.